तमोविद्विषावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। बोलिए श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। नमः श्री शंकरानंद गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलास महामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे। Hari Om. So in this Vedanta Shravana Sadhana Yagna, for the next 10 days, which begins today, this month, the 10th month, we are looking into this beautiful text called Tripti Dipa, Lamp of Contentment. It is in the chapter 7 of Panchadashi. Tripti Dipa, we saw till last month, what we saw was about this consciousness and the vritti vyapti and the phala vyapti. Like we see the pot, we have the pot thought. The pot thought removes the doubt about what is that object. So the thought gives us a knowledge. And phala vyapti is because the pot thought is from an inert object which does not have consciousness of its own. It does not have the capacity to light up within in our brain. So the phala vyapti is consciousness falls on the thought and enlivens it, and so we are able to experience the thought in our head. But whereas the thought of aham brahmasmi or tattvamasi, ayam atma brahma, prajnanam brahma, the thought is about consciousness. So there is vritti vyapti, meaning that aham brahmasmi, it gives us the knowledge that I am Brahman, and it removes the knowledge that I am this body. It takes away the knowledge that I am the body. And then there is no phala vyapti that is required because this knowledge is shining by itself. It is bright by itself, so it doesn't need reflection of consciousness to fall on it to brighten up that knowledge. Like the sun is reflecting on the water, so that is a vritti vyapti is there. Through the vritti we can see the sun's reflection is there. We know the presence of the sun. But we don't need that reflection, the light in that reflection to illumine the sun to see the sun. The sun we can see directly as it is. We don't need that reflected light to illumine the sun. In the same way, life is a reflection of consciousness. It is not required to know that Brahman. It is only the vritti vyapti, the aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, ayam atma brahma, prajnanam brahma, or the brahmakara vritti alone is required. Phala vyapti is not required. The reflection of consciousness has got no role here. After this, we are contemplating on this knowledge of Brahman through the Mahavakyas. So we have listened to the Mahavakyas from the Guru and we have contemplated upon it. Now how to abide in that, it is not so easy. This topic of the next 10 or 11 verses we are going to see today, maybe 10 verses, yes, will talk to us about how to abide in that knowledge. What are the obstacles that prevent us from abiding in this knowledge and how to abide. Astu bodho parokshatra mahavakyat tathapyasau nadridha shravanadinam acharyaihi punar iranat. Astu bodhaha. Let the knowledge be. Now you got the knowledge. Aparokshaha. Atra. Even the knowledge can be direct. Paroksha, you receive it, then you meditate and contemplate upon it. Paroksha is the third person's perspective. You receive that knowledge, you meditate and contemplate, then it becomes direct. Aparoksha, let it be. Na tridhaha shravanadinam acharyahi punari iranat. Even then, it is not firm. Even after you have, how much ever we are contemplating on this, thinking about this month after month, every time I take either this Panchadashi, this Tattva, Tripti Dipa, or Tattva Viveka, which we are seeing every Sunday, or Viveka Chudamani, which we saw before, or Tattva Bodha, every time I take the book, that knowledge is inspiring, fresh and new. It is so difficult to stay in that state of mind at all times. It is so beautiful when we read. We are able to understand it when we are going through those verses, and it is so enlivening and enlightening in that moment. But the next moment, after we finish this, we close the book, and then we go about our day-to-day activities, interacting with the world, getting scolded or scolding somebody, or getting angry or experiencing anger from others. All these situations come in life. This knowledge goes for a toss. It doesn't stay with us. So how can it stay? Na dridhaha shravanadinam. It can stay by listening to the great teachers repeatedly. Shravanadinam acharyaihi, by the great teachers. Punaha iranat. Only when we repeatedly listen, this knowledge, it is possible for us for it to stay in our mind, in our knowledge. So the stress here is on Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. Shravana is listening, Manana is contemplating on what we have listened, Nididhyasana is to meditate upon what we have listened. Even in the Bhaja Govindam it is said, Manasi vichintaya varam varam. Varam varam means not week after week. Varam varam means again and again. Manasi vichintaya. That tattvam, think about it in the mind. So, the next verse, how long should a seeker listen, reflect and meditate? Somebody asked Puja Gurudev, how long should I meditate? So Puja Gurudev replied, how long do you want to be happy? You want to be happy for always. So meditation. In the same way, this verse tells us how long we should practice. Aham brahmeti vakyartha bodho yavad drudhi bhavet shamadi sahitastavat abhyaset shravanadikam. So Shravanadikam, Shravana means listening to the Mahavakyas through the masters, the gurus who are explaining from the Upanishads. Shravana. Aham Brahma iti Vakya Artha Bodhaha Yavat Dridhi Bhavet. We have heard, I am the Brahman, Tattvamasi, that Brahman you are, or we contemplate, I am the Brahman. Prajnanam Brahman, this consciousness is Brahman. Or I am Atma Brahma, Sachidananda, Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. We sing, we hear, we chant, we do all that. But it is only a thought. The thought is like the cover of the fruit. There is a fruit inside, maybe an orange, a santra orange. It has got a very loose cover around it. That is the thought. But inside the cover, the skin, is that real fruit. The skin is of no use. We cannot eat the skin. The skin is to be thrown away. But when we take the skin, we open the peel of the fruit, and then we have to taste the fruit to know what it is. In the same way, the Aham Brahmasmi thought that we receive from the master is like the skin. It has the fruit inside. We have to go in, we have to open the skin and taste the fruit. So until we taste the fruit, only when we taste that fruit, only when we taste the essence of that knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi, only then the mind will become dridha. The mind will become solid with that understanding. Only when we eat the fruit, we really experience the taste. How much ever we look at the orange, we are not going to feel the taste in our tongue so much as we peel that orange and eat that fruit. In the same way, aham brahmeti vakyartha bodhaha yavat dridhi bhavid. Only when, as long as it takes for that meaning of the words aham brahmasmi, as long as it takes for imbibing that meaning, tavat, till the time, shamadhi sahitas tavat abhyaset shravanadikam, along with this shatka sampatti or the six wells. Shama means peace of mind, calmness of mind. Dama, control of the sense organs. Uparama, withdrawal from the objects of the senses. Titiksha, put up with whatever troubles that we are facing right now that come because of our previous prarabdha karma that we have done. Shraddha, having total faith in the words of the Guru and the Upanishads. Samadhanam, a very well established mind, a mind that is settled in the truth to analyze the truth. With all these, we have to listen with Shraddha, Shravanadikam. Shravana, we have to contemplate on those words, and then Nidhidhyasana. So the values here, meaning Shama, Dama, are all values. People talk of, when I know I am Brahman, why do I need values? Because values are all going to go away. It is not the final step. Why do I need values? If I know I am Brahman. With this egoistic understanding of who I am, if I study about Brahman, then that knowledge will not yield the result it aims to, because of that solid ego. We see so many people in this world, they may be talking very beautifully on stage, they may be writing very beautifully. Whenever there is an opportunity for a discussion on the Brahman or on the self, they will be very good with their points. They have studied so well and they will be able to enunciate very well. But when it comes to day-to-day interactions with people, ordinary interactions, like at home or in office or on the road, they can be very rude, they can be very arrogant, and you will wonder, all the knowledge of Brahman has done nothing to this person, nothing has happened. That is because the values are not there. The values have to be cultivated. What are the values? So many values are there in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, talks of so many values. Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhihi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, Danam Damascha Yajnascha, Swadhyayastapa Arjavam, Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha, Tyaga Shantirapaishunam, Daya Bhuteshvalo Lupvam, Madhavam Hrira Chapalam, Tejaha Kshama Dhritis Shaucham, Adroho Nati Manita, Bhavanti Sampadam Daivin, Abhijatosi Bharatam. So there are so many values. What these values do is, our mind is like a big tapestry. It's like a big, it's like a big carpet. In that carpet, there are many, many stains. All those stains cannot be removed by this Aham Brahmasmi Vasana. This Aham Brahmasmi is a thought. It is like a detergent. So for different types of stains, you need different types of detergents. And all stains you cannot remove at the same time. The mind is so big that it is like the sky. It is as big as the sky. So constantly working on removing the stains by different means, adopting different values in life, good values, practicing them, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. It is a simultaneous process. Everything goes side by side. We don't know when realization will happen. But as this is being done constantly, when we start working on the mind and purifying the mind with good values, and at the same time, we are also meditating and contemplating, listening to the words of the Master and studying from the Upanishads according to what the Master has taught and contemplating on those lines. Then, at one point of time, the realization happens. And even when the realization happens, when the mind is pure, the reflection is very clear and the knowledge is very stable. The understanding is very stable. So the obstacles that we face in abiding in self-knowledge. What are the obstacles? Bhadam santi hyadadhyasya hetavashrutyanekatam asambhavyatvamarthasya viparita cha bhavanam. There are three types of major problems which prevent us from being rooted in the knowledge of the self, which is taught to us by the Upanishads through the Guru. Badham, Santi, certainly there are, he, indeed, adardhyasya hetavaha. There are many causes for the lack of firmness in the knowledge. What are the causes? Shruti anekata. There are many apparently contradictory statements in the scriptures. We are not talking about what scriptures here. We are not saying the Vedas or the Upanishads. Shruti anekata. Different statements are there which seem apparently contradictory. In one place they will say do this, one place they will say don't do this, one place they will say mind is the cause, one place they will say intellect is the cause. Many differences are there. Then you have another problem, asambhavyatvam, the doubt about the possibility. There is a doubt in my mind whether this person, this guru, is really saying for my benefit or he wants something about it. We are very easy at doubting. Doubting comes very easily to us. Even after years and years of acquaintance with people, we may doubt their motives. And whether the Shastras are just any books or some people just to gain superiority over others and to control over others, they have said that these Shastras are sacrosanct and then making us study all this. So that will lead us to asambhavya because we are doubting them whether this is really possible. Something called the Brahman is there and I have to know whether it is possible, whether it is really there. The doubt is there. Then arthasya, this knowledge, the doubt about this knowledge, and then viparitacha bhavana, how much ever I listen, how much ever I contemplate, how much ever I meditate, at the next best instance when my knowledge is shaken, when my faith is shaken by circumstances and people, I immediately go back to the thought that I am the body, I am the mind, and I am the intellect. So this is viparita bhavana. Pramana asambhavana. The first is lack of total faith in the scriptures. The scriptures are not there. They cannot say, it is not possible for anything to give the ultimate knowledge about this whole universe and about me. It is not possible. Pramana asambhavana is one problem. Then you have prameya asambhavana, is the theme of the scriptures described by the words of the Guru, whether it is really there or not. We have our own doubts. Then we have viparita bhavana. Even when the doubts are gone, even when the master, sometimes you see people will ask doubts, we will be going on clearing their doubts. Then they will go back with the same frame of doubts. Even though the doubt is cleared, they will not accept that the doubt has been cleared. They will go back to their doubts and come back with the doubt the next time you see them. Even when the doubts have vanished through rigorous and repeated thinking, our powerful tendencies like We know that drinking coffee, drinking tea, or smoking cigarettes, or going for drugs and alcohol is not good for our health. But if we are used to those substances, even if we know when the substance comes in front of us, we are taking it up because it is not really gone from us. That viparita bhavana, we are believing that yes, I need it, it is important. Having doubts, having viparita bhavana or wrong understanding is like eating a chocolate with a wrapper. Even though the chocolate is so tasty, you're not able to enjoy the full taste of the chocolate. You're not able to enjoy the full taste of the self because you're chewing it with the wrapper of doubt. You're chewing the chocolate with the golden wrapper. You're chewing that thought with the wrapper of doubt. The Guru is explaining how to remove each of these obstacles. Shakha bhedat, kama bhedha bhedat, shrutam karmanyana yathan yatham, evamatrapi ma shankit, yata shravanam acharet. In the Vedas, it is not in the Upanishads, the Vedas have Shakha Bheda. There are 1180 shakhas or branches in the Vedas, and Kama Bheda. There are different desires that people have when they take up the Vedas for studying. The Vedas talk about what to do to achieve something in this world, and people also have many kinds of desires. Some want to achieve having good children, some want good education, some want lots of money, some want to build a house, some want to put an end to a relationship, some want to begin a relationship. So many desires are there among people. Shakha bhedat, kama bhedat, shrutam. According to that, in the Vedas, karmani yatha anyatha. There are different types of actions prescribed in the Vedas. Like, for example, Dasharatha did the Putra Kaneshti Yaga for the birth of his sons Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. And then Nachiketas, he spoke to Lord Yama and got this knowledge called Nachiketas Vidya or Nachiketas Yagna. When doing that Yagna, people can attain heaven. So there is a different action for that and the different action for this action, this result. Evam atrapi ma shankita. In this way, atrapi, there is nothing to worry because yataha shravanam acharet. Just listen to the words of the Upanishads through the master, through the teachings of the master. So when in this context, we are not going for worldly attainments with the different desires. Our only desire is to know the self. We don't have conflicting desires. And the Upanishads are talking about the self only in many ways. Every Upanishad, every Mahavakya is talking about the oneness between the Atman and the Brahman. So we don't need to worry about that. We just have to keep listening. Pramana Asambhavana is removed by Shravana. So the Pramana Asambhavana is, the truth is not there. Pramana, I cannot see the truth is not there because it is not perceived by me. Pramana Asambhavana. Shravana is listening. So what is Shravanam? How should I listen? Vedanta nama sheshanam adi madhyavasanatah brahmatman eva tatparyam iti dhihi shravanam bhavet. Dhihi shravanam. The attitude or the belief, the intellectual understanding I should have while listening is that Vedantanam Asheshanam Adhi Madhya Avasanataha. In all the Upanishads, the Vedanta, and the Prakarana Granthas that take us around that Vedanta, they talk about Adi in the beginning, in the Madhya, in the middle, and in the end, Avasanataha, Brahma Atmani Eva. They talk about only one thing. It can be ad nauseum, we can say, that the Upanishads talk about that Atman and Brahman are one. Atman means I, you, that's Atman. Brahman, the total divinity, total consciousness is one. Vedanta speak about it in every text, in every page of it, it is there. Tatparyam, this is the essence of the Vedanta. With this understanding, I should listen. Even when I'm listening to the words of the Master, if I'm able to listen with the understanding that what he or she is talking is the about the unity of the self, that is I and Brahman. With this thought, with this understanding, if I listen, that listening will be very powerful. It will be very enlightening. That is Shravana. So in Ramcharitamanas also, there is an example which Puja Guruji gives. Tulasidasa ji says, right from the beginning to the end, the lordship of Sri Rama alone is established. Like in the Ramcharitamanas, whether it is the beginning, the middle, or the end, throughout it talks only about the glory of Bhagavan Sri Rama. In the same way, the Upanishads talk about the glory of the self or the oneness of the self and that supreme truth. समन्वयाध्याय एतत् सूक्तं धीस्वास्थ्य कारिभिः तर्कैः संभावनार्थस्य द्वितीयाध्याय ईरिताम्. In the Brahma Sutras, which has been written, compiled by Bhagavan Sri Vedavyasa from the different thoughts in the Upanishads and the Prakarana Granthas, the Brahma Sutra has been written, and the Bhashya for that has also been written by Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Samanvaya Adhyaye. The first chapter is called Samanvaya Adhyaya. Etat, this theme, Sushtu Uttam. What is the theme? The Tatparyam of Atma and Brahman are one. It is very well said. Dhi swasthyakaribihi tarkaihi. By logic, but the intellect, if I just tell some place is there, you just go in this direction. You will not really like that answer because you want to know which road to take and where to go right, where to turn left, whether it is north or northwest, what direction, in which number road, all these details we want to ask. In the same way, the intellect is convinced only when it knows the specific details of the path, the specific details about what we are listening to. It doesn't like, see, for example, even when we are having lots of stuff in our house to clean up, suddenly you are not able to pay attention on one day, you have a lot of work. So books pile up, the dried clothes pile up, and other miscellaneous objects pile up in your room. And when you look at that, the intellect feels very sleepy. It becomes very tired because lots of decisions to make, and this decision fatigue happens and it becomes very tired. So the first thing to energize yourself and to refresh yourself is to categorize that pile, categorize them as clothes, separate all the different varieties of clothes, categorize the books, separate the varieties of books, categorize all the miscellaneous items, separate the varieties, and then after that, the brain allows you to sort everything out, fold them, and arrange them and put them away. After that, it is just a matter of half an hour to clear that mess. But initially, the brain does not like to see something combined like this. So the intellect likes details. Tarkaihi sambhavana arthasya. Through tarka or logical reasoning, dhi swastyakaribihi tarkaihi. A logical reasoning which satisfies the intellect, sambhavana, the possibility of the unity of the Atman and the Brahman, arthasya, of this theme, Dvitiya Adhyaya, in the second chapter of Brahma Sutras, it is explained. So, in the first chapter, very simple, as I told you this mess example, there is only mess. Everything is together, everything is jumbled up, all the thoughts are jumbled up, and in that jumbled up thought, the Bhagwan Vedavyasa says Atman is Brahman. He is talking about it in many, many ways in the first chapter. In the second chapter, everything is being separated and analyzed very beautifully because the intellect likes to go part by part, likes to go by detail and see for itself in what way this is working out. Like even in mathematics, in school, we may have learnt by heart the problem. If in the question paper, answer paper, we are answering a question, solve this equation, and the equation is given, we have learned the answer by heart. We cannot just write so-and-so equation is equal to so-and-so answer. We have to show to the teacher how to solve it. Step by step it has to be solved. And for every step there are marks. If we have missed even one step, the marks will be less, even though the answer is correct. In the same way, tarka or logical analysis to understand that I am that Brahman. So what is viparita bhavana or false notion about who I am? False notion about who I am is I am the body, I am the mind, and I am the intellect. That is the viparita bhavana. Bahujanma dridhabhyasat dehadishvatmadhi kshanat punah punarudetyevam jagat satyatvadhirapi bahujanma dridha abhyasat. We have practiced this thought, this knowledge that I am the body, mind and intellect over many lifetimes. Lifetimes from the time of a plant, unicellular organism, plant, animal, then man, and then so many millions of lifetimes we have lived as human being. So that's what Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya says, even to hear the word Advaita, even for that word to fall in our ears, we should have done crores and crores of lifetimes of punya karma. You can do punya karma only when you are living as a human being. And even when you live as a human being, only when you become a good human being are you capable of doing punya karma. So to become a good human being itself, you would have taken many crores of lifetimes. And then crores of lifetimes doing punya karma, being a good human being. And only then will some master come around you and say, you know, you are the truth, you are Brahman, you realize the truth. You will hear the word Advaita. Koti Janma Kritam Punyam Pumsam Advaita Vasana. The thought of Advaita, the understanding of that concept of Advaita will come only with crores of janmas of Punya Karma. Bahujanma dridha abhyasat dehadishu atmadhihi kshanat. Lots of janmas of abhyasa we have done of deha adi, meaning body, mind and intellect is I. Kshanat. In a moment, punaha punarudetyevam jagat satyatva dhirapi. Not only this I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, that thought comes. This world is real. This world is real means whatever we see, it is not that it doesn't exist and it is unreal. It's not in that context. We give importance to what is happening in the world moment to moment, thinking that is real, that is permanent. This thought about the world is not going to be permanent in our minds at all times. Every day we lose that thought when we go to sleep. So that is what it means by so when we say real, focus on that which is permanent, and the only thing that is permanent is consciousness, and everything else is impermanent, including the body, mind and intellect, and this whole world. But we give reality to the world and we think that the body, mind, and intellect are I, the self. So this is because of lifetimes of practice. So for if lifetimes of practice we have practiced something wrong, then will it take lifetimes of practice to remove it? Not exactly. Even though a cave has been for lifetimes in darkness, if I take a lamp or a firebrand today, inside the cave, the darkness is gone. In the same way, that obstacle can be removed. This lifetimes of practice of ignorance can be removed in a moment's understanding with knowledge. Viparita bhavaneyam ekagriyat sa nivartate tattvopadeshat prageva bhavatyetad upasanat. Bhavati etat upasanat. So viparita bhavaneyam bhavana iyam. This viparita bhavana, this erroneous perception that I am the body, I am the mind, and I am the intellect, the erroneous perception that this world is real, this world is living, this world is life, it is real, life is real, this world is real. This bhavana, viparita bhavana, evam, how does it go? Ekagrata, ekagryat sa nivartate. Ekagra is one pointed mind. When my mind becomes one pointed and concentrated, this viparita bhavana will go away. This erroneous perception of body, mind, and intellect as I and this world is real will go away when the mind becomes focused. But it will not remove my ignorance. The mind will become concentrated. What is the difference between a concentrated mind and a mind that is free of ignorance? A concentrated mind can be the lot of anybody who is concentrating in the world. They can be concentrating in a sport, they can be concentrating in their studies, they can be concentrating on music. So they will, whatever they concentrate on, they will excel in that field. Because they are excelling in that field, they will not know who they are, which is knowledge or self-realization. Then but this steadiness of understanding will be aided by this concentration of mind. Tattvopadeshat prag eva. So before gaining the knowledge of the truth, when does this concentration develop? Even before I sit before the guru to listen to the words of the Upanishads and the guru to tell me that I am that Brahman. So the guru will be going on and on and on saying that you are the Brahman or I am the Brahman. I will never understand it because there is no concentration in my mind. I will listen, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, I am Atma Brahma. It will be very nice to hear for 3 minutes. Then I will think masal dosa at Adyar Ananda Bhavan. And how tasty it is. That day I ate masal dosa. So this Aham Brahmasmi thought has gone. And the other day I was traveling with a lady. She was traveling with me in the car because she wanted to know a lot about spirituality. She wanted to know a lot about sadhana. She wanted to know a lot about meditation and all that. And it was a very long journey from Chennai to Pondicherry. But by habit or by force, I don't force it. Even though they say something, I allow them to come up with their questions. I don't force them or I don't remind them to ask what they wanted to ask or the reason why they came in the car along with me. So I was waiting. There's a big traffic jam in Chennai. The person was complaining about how the traffic jam is so bad and everywhere the roads are blocked. And she's wondering where we can stop for coffee, Junior Kuppanna or Karpatti, Karpati coffee shops, so many shops she's pointing out, or that dhaba, this dhaba, we can have coffee here, tea here, masala dosa is very good in that place, parathas are very good in this place, and in this place en route, when you stop, we will get good masala chai, so many things. And I was wondering what happened about all her questions that she had. And then at one point of time, she said, please tell me now about spirituality. Then I asked her, what is it that you want to know? I want to know about meditation. And then suddenly she asked about some Mahatma. What do you think about that person? And then by the time I could start answering, the idea, everything was lost. And again, it went on to masala dosa and idli and chutney and sambar until we reached Puducherry. So this is how the average mind of a human being is. It is just taken up by the whole mind space is occupied by a lot of things in the world. Where is this? Viparita bhavana iyam ekagrayat sa nivartate. So viparita bhavana or wrong thinking will go with one-pointed mind. Tattvopadeshat prageva. This one-pointed mind should come even before receiving this tattva upadesha or receiving this thought from the guru of the Mahavakyas. Even before that, bhavet bhavati etad upasanat. So this will happen, the single pointed will happen from worship on a form. So we have bhakti yoga. So to bring ekagrata, karma yoga is a good way. Karma yoga means we train the body to do some work for a considerable period of time with application, full consciousness, not worrying about the results of the work, but enjoying the process of the work, surrendering the process of the work to the divine, and not wanting any particular results out of the work in terms of money or recognition, but just being happy doing the work, and even at the end of the work, not taking credit for that work. It is very difficult, but this karma yoga will purify the mind and make it one-pointed. And then the next step is bhakti yoga, where you apply the mind on the form of a deity with love, whether it is Sri Rama or Sri Krishna or the Guru or Dattatreya or Hanuman, anybody, any god or Devi, Saraswati, Durga, Lakshmi, or Subramanya or Ganesha, any god we like, we cultivate a relationship with that deity with love. Then the mind also becomes one-pointed and purified. But this upasana will not remove our false notions. This upasana will purify our mind, will make our mind one-pointed. And the false notion will go away only with meditation on the thought that I am that infinite truth. Only with that, the false notion will go away. Only that thought has got the power to push out the other thoughts from the head. The other thoughts are swimming from the head. So it is just like a big pile one. When you have so many people poking you and needling you, you call the help of somebody very, very powerful to just swish everybody around you away. In the same way, there are so many thoughts that are swimming in the head. And if you want those thoughts to be gone and all your attention is paid on fighting those thoughts or living out those thoughts. So when you want to remove those thoughts, first bring it to a few concentrated thoughts. That is through karma yoga, it becomes few thoughts. And with bhakti yoga, it becomes one thought dedicated with love. And with jnana yoga, that one thought is not outside of you, but it is standing within you, and it is just driving away the other thoughts with its power, its force, and its energy. So only that I am Brahman has got that capacity to dispel this false knowledge that I am the body, I am the mind, or I am the intellect, or that this world is real. These are four false thoughts which needs to be dispelled, and all these four false thoughts can be dispelled only with the knowledge that I am Brahman, and everything else, whether it is karma yoga, whether it is bhakti yoga, it is only to prepare the mind to receive this knowledge and to abide in this knowledge. Upatas upastasyota evatra brahma shastrepi chintitah praganabhyasinah paschat brahmabhyasena tadbhavet. Upastayah. There are many methods of worship. Ataha. For this reason, eva alone, in this place, atra Brahma Shastre, in the scriptures on the Brahman, that is the Upanishads, api chintitaha, it has been thought of. Many methods of worship have been thought of in the Upanishads. For example, in many Upanishads, they talk about worshipping different deities. Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhum Vibhum Shashvatam Avyayam. Many in Kaivalya Upanishad, it is there, worship of Shiva and Parvati. And Mahanarayana Upanishad talks of worships of many deities, Durga, and so many suktams are presented there. So then you have also meditation on Omkara, like the Mandukya Upanishad talks of Omkara Upasana, and the Taittiriya Upanishad talks about many upasanas of the objects of the world, objects of nature, and the guru, the shishya, the mother, the father, the child, and the relationship between the three. All that is being spoken of. Upastasyota evatra Brahma Shastre api chintitaha. In the Upanishads also, the many upasanas have been thought of for this reason only, to make the mind one-pointed. So it does not say you do upasana and you will know the self. Brahma Shastra, the Upanishads don't say. For that reason, they don't mention upasanas. They are mentioning upasanas as a means to purify the mind, to make it one-pointed. Prag anabhyasinaha paschat brahmabhyasena tadbhavet. Prag anabhyasinaha. One who has not practiced single-pointedness. For the people who have not practiced single-pointedness of mind, many upasanas are being mentioned in the Upanishads. Paschat. After that, Brahma Abhyasena. By the practice of concentration on the truth of the Brahman, that bhavet. So that will happen. This is for one who has not practiced single-pointedness before listening. He should do that after listening by the practice of concentration on the Brahman and the truth. For people who want to make their one-pointed by worship, then if they have not practiced single-pointedness earlier, after they listen to the truth, they should use that Brahma upasana to practice single-pointedness of mind. What are the ways by which you practice single-pointedness? Brahmabhyasa, it's mentioned in the Yoga Vasishta. Tat chintanam tat kathanam anyonyam tat prabodhanam etadeka paratvam cha brahmabhyasam vidurbudha. What is Brahmabhyasam? Practice of meditation on the Brahman. Tat chintanam tat kathanam anyonyam tat prabodhanam. Constantly think about that. Chintanam. We are constantly thinking about our problems in the world. Problems are created by people. Problems we have created in the world. How to solve those problems. We are worried all the time about that. But we have to think about Brahman. Tat chintanam, tat kathanam. We have to talk about Brahman. When we meet people, it should always be a satsanga. It should not be gossip. It should not be something else. But it should always be conversation on the Brahman. Anyonyam tat prabodhanam. When you have a conversation with somebody, You talk about one concept of Brahman, let the other person speak something else about their understanding of that Brahman. So that is that Anyonyat Prabodhanam, or enlightening each other, together liberating each other with this thought, with this concept. Etadeka paratvam. Etad eka paratvam. This itself is called ekaparatvam, considering this alone as the most important thing. Whenever we meet people, we ask so many things: what dress you got for your birthday, what is the price of that dress, and did your brother also get a similar range for his birthday, or you did not get that much, and why your brother got so much, and instilling anger and hatred among those people. Not all this work, but I am Brahman, you are Brahman. Come, let's discuss about it. Tadeka paratvam. Nothing else to discuss in the world. Cha Brahmabhyasam viduhu budhaha. The wise people call this Brahmabhyasa. Meditating upon the Brahman. Thinking about the Brahman all the time. Tameva dhiro vijnaya prajnam kurvita brahmanaha nanud नानुध्यायात् बहून् शब्दान् वाचो विग्लापनं हि तत् तम एव धीरः विज्ञाय प्रज्ञां कुर्वीत ब्राह्मणः. That Brahman alone, know that the wise man knows, having known, in that knowledge, prajnam kurvita brahmanaha, absorbing the mind in that Brahman. One who aspires for the Brahman knows that Brahman and absorbs the mind in that Brahman. Not anudhyayat, or thinking and studying, bahun shabdan. Many words are there, many books are there, many articles are there, many channels are there, many different types of social media is there, where through which we get words and messages. It is not about spreading out too thin, spreading your mind too thin in all the literature of the world and wasting your precious time and energy, but concentrating the mind completely on the Brahma Abhyasa, withdrawing it from everything else. Otherwise, Shabdan, Bahun Shabdan, Vachaha Viglapanam Hi Tat. So many words will only tire the organ of speech, wasting. When we really speak nonsense about people or with people, if you're really wanting to focus your mind, you will know how much of your energy is going out through the mouth when we speak nonsense, or when we babble, or we just go on ranting about something or the other. So much of energy is dissipated in that process, that energy which needs to be gathered and protected for us to realize the truth, realize the Brahman. So we will continue with the next few verses from tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om.